So today we're going to be talking about using standards and how to find standards for your lesson plans. So as we talked about before, standards are basically like a set of different milestones or goals that your students should meet by the end of a certain grade. So these standards are written for us. Common Core, you've probably heard it before, and that's what we're looking at now. So the Common Core standards, we're on corestandards.org, and then there's a few different things that you could click on. So what parents should know, I think that this just gives a good general overview of what standards are. You're going to need to know some of this information later. So this is a good place for you to use just to learn a little bit about more standards. Also, the myths and facts. This is also a really cool part on the website. There are a bunch of different myths about learning standards and how schools use them. And I think that this is super important for future teachers to understand. So in order to complete the assignment that goes with our learning standards section or lesson, you're going to need to read through these as well. So this is just how you find them, just right off the homepage and then in this blue area. So the next thing that you're going to need to know how to access and understand is how to read the standards. So you go ahead and click on read the standards, and then we will go with math. And let's pick grade. We'll go easy kindergarten. So I know that I will understand it at least, and we'll go measurement. Okay, so all of these are so many out there. And here is the actual name of the standard. So you will need to know how to access that in the future for your assignment. When it asks for the name of the standard, you're going to type it, and this is what you're going to put in. It's long. However, it's something that it's universal. Okay, so that's the title right here. And then the actual standard is below. Describe measurable attributes of objects such as length or weight. Describe several measurable attributes of a single object. So that is something that we are expecting a kindergartner to do. Okay, and then as you go through, and you say click on third grade, measurement and data. Again, we're staying with measurement here. You can see that the title of the standard is very similar. Common Core, math, content. Okay, so that's similar, but this is what is changing right here. 3 MDA1. So 3 stands for grade 3, and then that number at the end is the standard. So standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, standard 4. Okay, so that's how you access them. So it goes from easiest to 1 to more difficult, number 8 at the bottom. So in the beginning of a lesson or a unit, you should be starting up here towards the top of the standards and gradually getting more difficult as you move on. Okay, so that's how you read the standards. So when you're creating your lesson plan, this is what you need to look for. So if you know you're doing 7th grade, this is where you find 7th grade. Okay, you can see all the standards through high school. And we were looking at math, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the home page so we can go to English Language Arts. And this is where you could find these as well. So you can see there's things like science and technical subjects, writing, history. So it falls under math or English Language Arts. After you explore the Common Core website and go through the standards a little bit, you are going to be working on this with your team. So I gave you 3 standards at the top, an ELA, a math, and a science, and you will have to fill in the 4 rows below. So you need to determine what grade it's for and if you think it's appropriate or not. You have to explain in your own words what you think the student should be able to know or do after mastering that standard. Describe a short activity that would meet the standard. You don't need to be super specific here. And then how would you assess or test your students to know that they've mastered the skill? So you're going to work on this with your team during your weekly team meeting, and then you're going to each submit this on Schoology.